Hey folks, welcome to another edition of BrushPile Fishing. We are at Caddo Lake here in Texas. This is a lake, it's well over 200 years old. The history down in this area is absolutely outstanding, and wait till you see what the lake actually looks like. We're going to be targeting some black crappie today with my good friend Brian Carter from the B&M Pro Staff. It's always a good time when me and Brian get together, and I cannot wait to get out on the water. And again, wait till you see this place, folks. It is absolutely gorgeous. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with BrushPile Fishing.
Many people look at a lake and feel a sense of calm serenity. Crappie fishermen feel the heart-pounding anticipation of the thump. That's why host Russ Bailey is addicted to crappie fishing. It's this addiction that takes Russ from the Midwest to the Deep South in search of the best lakes, techniques, and patterns from some of the best crappie anglers in the country, right here on BrushPile Fishing.
Hey folks, welcome back to BrushPile Fishing here at Caddo Lake in Texas with Brian Carter. Brian, how we doing today?
Russ, man, we're good. Welcome to Jurassic Park, man.
Dude, this is, folks, the scenery here is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, this is unlike anything in the state of Texas and across the country, really, a lot of places. This is Caddo Lake, so about 27,000 acres in northeast Texas. We're on the Texas and Louisiana border. A little bit of a history of this lake, because there's several hundred-year-old cypress tree forest throughout this thing. It's way back, late 1700s, early 1800s, there was a massive raft of logs, as legend says, on the Red River, which flowed water off as it flooded and flooded this cypress swamp back in the early 1800s. And then it stayed that way. It created this lake. It's the only natural lake in the state of Texas. Everything else is man-made. Then in the mid-1800s, they blew up the raft on the Red River. When they did, apparently, this lake went down or dropped about 10 feet. And so it left what's here now. And then the wildest thing about that is early 1900s there, mid-1900s, was the first over-the-water oil well was drilled on Caddo Lake. And when they found oil here, then they put up a false dam. It's not like a lock and pier dam or anything like that. It's just a spillway, more or less. But and then of course that created the overwater out in the Gulf and everywhere else. So just an incredible fishery. I'm glad you guys came down to experience this, because it's unlike anything you're going to see. Well,
I'll tell you what, we haven't even started fishing yet, but the scenery has been absolutely cool. Even the place where we started this morning to get bait is over 100-something years old. It's just, this is really cool down here.
Yeah, no, this is going to be great. We should. That's the Johnson Ranch Marina, one of the oldest marinas in the state of Texas. And so, you know, today when we get out of here, we're going to get back kind of on the main river. We're going to be on some cypress stumps and probably 9 to 12 feet of water.
Okay.
And then today, you know, let's put all kinds of techniques out there. Let's throw a double jig rig. Let's throw a minnow on a slip cork. Let's run a single jig. It's going to be, we're going to have all kind of ways to catch fish today.
You ready to get started?
I'm ready to do it. Let's go.
Caddo Lake, here we go, folks.
Here's the lake information, sponsored by Mossback Fish Habitat. Your gear and conditions, sponsored by Cornfield Fishing Gear.
There we go, Russ.
What you got?
Got a pole fish.
That's a nice one. Now what you gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna let gravity take its course.
That is a big black.
I'm gonna let Joe get some film.
Apparently.
Or a documentary, yeah. Get off of there.
Go. There you go.
Come on in here, baby doll.
Ooh, look at that.
There it is, sir.
Gosh.
How about that, Russ?
Not a bad start. And boy, you did.
Welcome to Texas, baby.
Nice.
Caddo Lake, black crappie.
Oh, ho, ho,
Pound
ho.
30, pound 40. Yeah,
Not too shabby.
yeah. Welcome to Caddo Lake, Russ.
Yeah.
I appreciate you letting me catch the first one.
No problem.
I was trying to be a good guide, but I only got so much patience.
Man, that's a good one. All right, folks. So the plan was today, on this first show, we were going to flip jigs over these brush piles, and the fish are hitting them, but it's almost like they're just pushing it away. They absolutely will not hold on. It's one of them weird bites. So we've went to a minnow rig with a slip cork, which is, you talk about going back to the basics. That's what we're doing. And Brian flipped out first time, bam, caught a nice crappie. So we're gonna do this live bait rig.
We're gonna lose a minnow is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I gotta have more bait on there than that, Russ.
And see what happens. But you know, I love jig fishing, and 90% of the time, that's what we do. They just would not hold on today.
Yeah.
And we tried the slab bites on them. We've tried everything.
We'll catch a jig fish in a minute, but right now, watching that cork go down brings the boy back in all of us. Why don't you make that go down, would you?
I'm trying.
3, 2. I'll just hold 2 till you get a bite.
And what we're doing, there's brush piles under these poles in these channels, and we're just hitting the brush piles. And this is cool too, because you don't need a live scope or any of that. Just let that minnow do his thing. And even on your regular depth finder, if you go across, especially with side imaging or whatever you're using, you're going to see exactly what depth those fish are at. And you'll see if there's fish on those brush piles, and then just stay off of them, make long casts. Let me get out of your way there.
Yeah, let's come on back to the left. We can go back there. I'll get us a little closer. We can pitch it on out there.
Now, Brian, have you ever fished the actual main lake, or you just stay in these?
No, I just stay in the rivers and the oxbows here, because that main lake is really shallow. Of course, you get over into the Louisiana side, but this bayou side of the lake is really where the fishing action is.
Now, Brian, this is our first day here, and we're hitting these brush piles. We're actually going to try to shoot a second show tomorrow, flipping jigs up on docks.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we've got up the northern part of this channel, we've got a lot of boat docks up there and some brush around them too. But yeah, we should be able to pick some fish off some pylons, and you know, we might shoot a little bit, but it'll be more. We've got a lot of wooden poles up there that we can just go along, take a look at them, and find a suspended fish on that pole and drop a jig on him. So you gonna interrupt me again?
So if you're a shallow water fisherman, this is a lake for you, man.
If you want to fish shallow, yes, I would love to be back here in the spring. You're interrupting our conversation.
I know, again.
Okay. Is that the fish you caught last time?
I think so.
You got to put those both together to get what I'm catching. Come
Pretty
on
color
now.
though.
Come on now.
I
Yeah,
gotta get
beautiful.
one of them like you had.
Yeah, beautiful goldish color there. You get the tannin in the water from these needles on these trees, and yeah, it creates a beautiful fish.
Right, I can see when this water starts to cool off and they become more active, it's going to be crazy here.
You know, it's only going to get better as the water cools off. Yeah, we're at 77 degrees here now. Yeah, and yeah, as this water gets back down into the 60s, then November, December, a lot of those fish are going to gang up in this river channel, and then yeah, it's going to be pretty easy pickings. Russ, you guys are on quite a whirlwind trip for this next week and a half, right?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you get older, the driving doesn't get easier, but
No?
we're doing about 2,500 miles or so round trip in this 6 shows. This is show number 2.
Man, I know it's a lot of time and effort to make these shows happen, and there's a gentleman behind that camera that doesn't get the credit he deserves for
He does a heck
for
of a
shooting
job.
this and editing it and putting up with the rest of us in between.
Yep, Truth.
People think you just show up and catch fish and go to the next one and catch fish, and you spend more time getting ready for the show sometimes than you do shooting them.
Yeah, you know, we were in Kansas yesterday, and as soon as we were done, we started traveling, heading to Texas. And you know, a lot of the things you don't know about, but like Joe's got to, in between shows, he's got to get all the batteries charged for all the GoPros, all the cameras. He's got to get the cards downloaded. So there's a lot of stuff that you don't see.
Right.
And especially that's tough to do when you're doing a trip like this.
Yeah, this is. Have you guys done a whirlwind?
No, I like this one.
Yeah.
This part's not bad. Once I'm on the water, it's
Right.
like, okay. But just the road work. Now, I'll tell you what, coming from Texas or from Kansas to here, we took all back roads. It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's a pretty drive. How do you not catch a fish out of there?
I did.
Get him, Russ!
There we
Come
go.
on in there, baby.
Come here. Black
Catch another
crappie.
black crappie?
I did. First time I dropped down there.
That's how it's supposed to be. Stop, drop, and pop.
And pop.
Yeah, pretty gold color on him.
They do. They do. That's why I love lakes like this.
Very nice, sir. Does that mean I get to fish again now? I was trying to let you.
You can.
I was gonna let you go ahead and catch some of those.
And he's on it again.
Did you get him that time, Russ?
Yeah. Hold still. Big as the others. What kind of limits do they have here, Brian?
So on the Texas side of this to the Highway 43 bridge, there is no minimum length limit, and it's
Okay.
25 fish a person.
Gotcha.
Now once you get across that bridge, the 43 bridge, then it comes back to the Texas limit of 10 inches and 25.
Okay.
So right here, that fish is legal to keep, not a fish we're planning on doing that with.
Not looking for that size. Folks, if you just joined us, we're on Caddo Lake. We're in the middle of October, and it's hot. It's about 86 degrees out here. We're just hitting brush piles off these poles on the channels. Just letting that minnow do his thing.
Let's go back in there about 2 feet past that pole.
Go ahead, sir.
I think then by the time it settles in, we get in the hot zone.
Brian, what's the average depth of the lake here?
You know, Russ, we're out in the main bayou channel here, so we got about 17, 18 feet out here. But once you get out of this, then you're into, get him, Russ!
And folks, our water temperature is still 80 degrees here. And like I say, we're in the middle of October. The leaves haven't started to change yet.
You didn't drive 800 miles though to catch that little one.
No, we're gonna get bigger.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Got him?
You got him. Put a little sun on him. Oh, I thought you were playing with the hook set over there, Russ.
No, sir.
Come on, fish. Be pretty for the camera. There we go. Not another monster, but a pretty fish. Pretty day to be on the water.
Ask the Angler, sponsored by War Eagle Boats.
All right, folks, it's time for today's Ask the Angler. And Brian, this question comes in from Preston Meyer.
Okay.
He knew that we were fishing shallow water. He also knew that temperatures have been close to 100 degrees down here.
Yep.
His question is, how difficult is it to catch shallow water fish when the temperatures are this high?
You know, that's a great question, because the myth is as the water warms, you got to go fish deeper. And that's true, I think, more in a main lake environment, like we have a lot of Texas, just a big old body of water with a dam on the south end.
Okay.
When you're fishing these river systems, and we learned this a lot by Wes and I, my tournament partner, from fishing a lot of tournaments, be it Crappie Masters, Crappie USA, American Crappie Trail. A lot of those are on rivers, be it the Red River was just a recent tournament, the Alabama River, fishing out here in more of a river environment. Those fish don't go that deep. And you know, year round on this lake, I mean, the deepest water out here is 14 feet. And that's in the river. And so when you get out into these bodies of water that are behind us, you know, that's 4, 5, 6 feet of water. And even sometimes in the summer, but certainly on a river environment, these fish don't have to be as deep as, say, 20, 25 feet that people think we need to go to in the heat of the summer. So it really just depends on the body of water. This body of water doesn't lend itself to 20 feet of water because it's not there. So the fish adapt, and we adapt as anglers as well.
One thing that we saw today, almost every brush pile that we come up on had a lot of bait fish around it too.
Yeah, a lot of bait fish, and then there were some fish we stuck today on those stumps that weren't but 4 feet down.
Yep.
9-foot stump, but fish are hanging out up at 4 foot. So, you know, I think it's kind of a myth. There's a lot of times year round that we don't fish deeper than maybe 12 foot wherever we go. So, you know, I just think it's something that's a trial and error. You find out for your body of water what works and what doesn't, and as you see that pattern forming from one year to the next, then you're going to know where to go on that body of water and take that knowledge to the next body when you go to fish it for the first time.
All right, there you go, Preston. Your question on Ask the Angler. Oh, he's chasing you.
I got him. That one's got spots everywhere. You got him reacting now. Yep. Get him.
There we go.
There we go, Russ.
Not bad.
That's not a bad fish.
No, sir. Not too shabby. We took that just nice and slow, too.
That's a pretty fish. We're stuck on that size right now.
I know it. Every fish.
Got him.
That's a good one. Oh,
Boy,
that's a good one.
that fish was 3 foot deep.
That is a good fish.
There we go. On the double crappie magnet. There we go. That's a better grade of fish. That's why you have spots, Russ. Not
Yes.
spots on the fish, but that's why you got fish in spots.
And we've hit how many so far
Yeah,
today?
we've hit 5 or 6 here and just caught some smaller fish. But yeah, that's not a bad fish. Pound, pound and a quarter.
Nice fish.
Yeah, double crappie magnet doing its work. That big boy, come here.
There
Come
you
here.
go.
Come here, crappie magnet fish. Oh, that's a pretty fish. There we go. Yes, sir. Man, I love that gold color.
Here's what's cool too, folks. When we started, we had one jig fish. They absolutely shut off. We went to minnows. I'm catching the smaller ones. He just went back to the jigs. 2 big fish right back
Yep.
to back.
Crappie magnet 1/16.
Double jig rig.
Yes, sir, right there.
Guess who's gonna be switching here again?
Welcome to Caddo Lake, baby.
Oh, we started this show in the afternoon. The sun's starting to set. I think the bite's gonna turn on big time.
That one's big enough I can shade you.
That's
Let me
good.
get some
That's
shade
good.
on you. All right. There's some good fish down, and right in between them.
There we go.
Hey, come on, Russ.
there we
There we go, baby.
Nice one. Another good, healthy fish. Working live bait and working crappie magnet jigs. And it's a finicky bite, but you know what? We're starting to put together some pretty decent fish. All right, folks, I hope you're enjoying today's show from Caddo Lake here in Texas. Now, Brian was here last week and the weather's a little bit cooler, the bite was better. Today, it got extremely hot, almost 87 degrees, and these fish are somewhat lethargic. I mean, there's a lot of them on each pile that we pull up to, but you really have to get them to hit. So you've got to be patient, but you've also, on the other hand, got to keep hitting spot to spot. The other thing we're doing today, and especially if you were in a tournament today, you got to keep experimenting all day long. When we started out, they absolutely would not hit that jig, no matter what you did, no matter what presentation. So live bait was the only way we could catch them. About a couple hours into it, the sun's starting to set a little bit. Brian went back to a double jig rig, the crappie magnets, and he's caught 2 or 3 big fish on those to just one nice one on the minnow rig. So you may have to switch several times, but use all your options, especially if there's 2 of you on a boat. If it's tough like this, one of you use live bait, one of you use jigs, figure out what you can get those fish to hit on. And that's what we're doing today. And we're hoping as this sun goes down even a little bit more, the bite will come a little bit more active. We've got a cold front coming in tonight, so if that would start to push this way, it could really turn these fish on, but we're going to find out.
Russ, we picked up and moved to another spot here, and it's got a fish on it.
Oh man, as soon as you dropped in.
Yeah, that's got a pretty good dang fish on it. Yes, sir. That is how you do it. Folks, that's why, you know, we're picking up 1 or 2 good fish on each spot, and then we're getting smaller fish. And you can do that, but on a TV show, you want fish like that. And so we're just moving from spot to spot. We pick up 1 or 2 here and there, and that's how you make a show out of this thing. But same thing if we're fun fishing. If you're starting to catch the smaller fish and you want to target the larger fish, just move from spot to spot. You start catching the smaller fish, keep moving, see if you can pick bigger fish up. And we did that. We've been here 10 seconds, pick up a fish.
You just dropped in. There we go.
There he is.
That's a good fish.
There you go, Russ. Very nice, very nice.
Hey, ho, hey. Shallow water, hot fish.
Yeah, this has been the shallowest we've been on, about 9 feet right here.
And like I say, water temperature still hot. It's still 87 degrees here today and still getting some fish.
And now the BrushPile Gear Check, sponsored by RTD, Erupt Fishing.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's BrushPile Gear Check. I wanted to talk with you about 2 combos that Russ and I used today on the water. First off, the live bait rig. So this is Russ Bailey's Signature Series 10.5 foot rod by B&M Poles. It's got 6-pound slime line on it. We'll talk about a new product that Slime Line is going to be coming out with in the near future when we get to rig number 2. This is just a simple slip float. We were fishing anywhere from 6 to 9 feet down with that. A couple of pinch on weights. The hook there, if you want a real advantage in a hook, obviously the lighter the hook, the more the minnow can move around. So that is an Eagle Claw EL 214 extra light wire hook. It's a very thin hook. And so anyway, this is what we used for the live bait. Allows us to easily change depths and as you saw in the show, really see a bobber action with that fish when we're setting the hook. And then the second rig, extremely excited about the rod first. So the rod is, B&M Poles is in their 75th anniversary for 2022. And one of the poles they're coming out with for this year, or for this anniversary, is the 75 series. It's got white for the 75, it's got gold for the 50, it's got silver for the 25. 7.5 foot, 1-piece rod. I do have braid on this one today with a double crappie magnet, so 1/16 ounce heads. Crappie magnets of varying color choices. They hit both colors today. I do run a braided line. Slime Line will be coming out with a braided line in the very near future, so keep an eye out for that. But beautiful rod to commemorate the 75th anniversary for B&M Poles, a 3rd generation family owned company. And that's today's BrushPile Gear Check.
Oh, what you got?
I got a fish on there, Russ.
You do.
On a double crappie magnet. So if we're keeping count at home, folks, that's about 3 on the bottom jig and 1 on the top.
What about color-wise?
So I've got 2 different color spectrums on there, and he took the bottom one. So pink and black, and a green and chartreuse, and today he took the pink and black.
It's all trying to put that best pattern together, but it's been tough today.
Just seeing what they want to hit. Get him!
There we go. Ooh, that's a good fish.
What you got?
That's a good fish. Oh yeah. Come
Get
here.
in there.
I got him. Just dropped it down and bam.
Very nice, sir. Very nice.
Half and half, man. It's just, you got to keep working. Brian, I know you
Sir?
and Wes, your partner, you guys like to tournament fish. You belong to the Crappie Club in Texas?
Yes, sir. The Crappie Anglers of Texas. Gosh, I'm trying to think of how old that club is now. It's well over a decade. But you know, that club started small, and man, we have well over 200 members now.
Really?
And so actually our state championship is going on this weekend on Lake of the Pines. And I think we had 21, we have a Division I and Division II. So you can have experienced anglers and not as experienced anglers, and fish 2 different divisions for different pots, and kind of spread the wealth there and between the experience of people. So no, it's been a great teaching tool. We've got.
You had a fish?
I don't know what that was. Well, it wasn't a gator, but chupacabras have been seen around here. I don't know if they swim underwater or not.
I tell you what, the 2 divisions you're talking about, that's nice, especially if a person's never tournament fished and they want to get into it. The club's the way to go anyways, and then with 2 divisions.
Yeah, we put a meeting together and talk about different things each month, and then obviously we host the tournaments and you have 2 different divisions. So if you've got somebody new to tournament fishing, they're not sinking $100 or $200 into entry fees and trying to fish against people who fish tournaments more competitively and maybe have electronics that some people don't have. So, you know, it kind of helps to level the playing field some. But I tell you what, it's become an extremely competitive tournament. There's a lot of really good anglers in there.
How many tournaments do you have in a year?
There's usually January or February through August. But then we also host a veterans tournament and a kids tournament. And so it's, you know, I guess that's about 8 tournaments in there, usually about 6 of them that qualify for a state championship that moves around the state.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's a great environment for people learning, especially if you just want to learn how to crappie fish and just go get to meet and talk with people on a monthly basis on the lake. And yeah, great.
You guys have a Facebook page?
Yes, sir. Crappie Anglers of Texas on Facebook. Yep.
There you go, folks, especially you guys here in Texas.
Those fish are just, I don't know that they're relating to anything. Oh, I got something that's upset. On a single crappie magnet.
Really?
Yep, so I thought for this pile I'd switch it up and go just a single jig. You know, and there's the world of the braid and the monofilament, and so this one mixes it together. So there's about 2 feet of monofilament tied to the braid, so you can get some sensitivity of the braid. But if you want to, you know, if you think that fish are line shy and you want to go with a monofilament and have a little bit of the best of both worlds, and that's what you get.
All right, folks, I want to bring up a subject that we have got feedback both sides of the issue, and that's the live scope. Today, the live scope was absolutely imperative because we got to see what those fish would and wouldn't do for us. We knew how tough the bite was going to be, even with the live scope, but finally figured it out. But you had to have your bait, whether it was a minnow or as the crappie magnet, you had to have it on their nose. And when they started to come at it, if they would, you had to hold that thing perfectly still. This is where the live scope made a big difference today between us catching 2 fish and the ones that we were able to catch. So just something to think about. I know there's people on both sides of the issue on live scope, but today it made a big difference here in the water. There we go.
Get him, Russ.
There we go. That's a good fish.
Yes, sir. Where is he?
That's a good fish.
Oh, yes, sir. Bring him in, baby.
Whew.
Hold on, let me get the net. Let me get the net.
Oh, a little bit late there, partner.
I got him.
Look at that.
Hey, that's a pretty fish right there, Russ.
I'll tell you what, man.
Makes you
work.
look good, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what. And we're getting an evil eye from Joe. You know what that means. The sun's going down, and we got to call it. I'll tell you what, folks. Let me get this out of the way. Another pretty fish.
That's on your rod, by the way.
It is, it is.
It says Russ Bailey. That's you, Russ. Yeah.
By the way, you see he put up much more fight than any of your fish.
Well,
did.
that's why I only had my jig like a foot under the water. I wanted you to catch that off there. Yeah, nice fish, Russ.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed it today. We showed it was a tough day of fishing, but we kept at it, tried out a lot of different things, and we put some nice fish together. And if you're out for some cleaners, we definitely had a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Brian, first time here, beautiful scenery. This place is awesome, man.
Hey, man. Anytime you guys can come to Texas and see what we've got to offer down here, you're more than welcome. Thanks.
We'll tell you what, we tried brush piles today. Tomorrow we're going to do another show on docks here. I can't wait.
Caddo Part 2, here we come.
All right, hope you enjoyed it, folks. And stay tuned, we'll be back with BrushPile Fishing. What do you got?
I got nothing, Russ. I got a crappie fishing show with a yellow bass on it. A monster at that. Look at this. Look at this, American people. It's huge. It's huge. No, it's not. We've got, sorry, I got interrupted there, Russ.
Crappie?
Something upset. No.
Nope.
It's another one of these. That's that Ohio fish you brought with you. Lee. Nothing but spikes and fins. Folks, we get cameras, we get boats, we get equipment, we get gear, and we get this. Not what we're after, but that's what we got. Hey.
What you got?
Nothing to see here, nothing to see. This is during the TV timeout. We don't film this kind of stuff, Joe. That right there is match the hatch is what that is right there. About the same
that is
size,
the hatch.
not much difference. Crappie magnet and crappie.
Special thanks to B&M Pole Company, War Eagle Boats, Crappie Magnet, Slime Line Fishing Line, Cornfield Fishing Gear, Eye-Hole Jig, Easy Drift, RTD Erupt Fishing, Driftmaster, Offshore Tackle Company, Power Pole, Mossback Fish Habitat, Hook and Bullet Sunglasses, Garmin,